before we do that, we got to talk about something pretty important here. We're going to talk about damaging comic books.
It happens, and it happens so quick, and there's no going back.
That's true.
You can't do like a Control Z here.
How many times, though, do you feel like you wish you could?
A lot.
It legit. Like, I legit have a feeling of Control Z when I'm messing with comic books sometimes. I'm cleaning, I'm pressing. As comic book collectors, being part of the hobby, this is something that we've learned to do. And there's actually, I have to say, there's a interesting amount of individuals that I'm seeing on Instagram and YouTube starting to do it themselves, taking it upon themselves. This used to be a part of the hobby, part of the trade that was kind of kept secret.
Are we getting into pressing here?
Ooh, you know what? Let's save the pressing talk for our after show. How about that? Because we have some, because I got some pressing mistakes.
Yeah, pressing mistakes.
We all got them.
All that stuff. That's a whole nother.
Okay, so we'll table the pressing stuff.
Yeah, but if we just want to talk about handling books in general,
yeah,
like it's easy to make a mistake. I mean, I've gotten much better to the point where I don't feel like I've made a mistake in a long period of time. But that's like me having experienced so many mistakes in my time to realize I need to slow down.
Right.
Okay, these are where mistakes happen, and this is when it's dangerous. So when I get to those points, I slow it down. I always take my comic out the same way. I don't pretend that I'm like the fastest trigger in the world and I'm going to zip out a comic from a bag and keep the tape on the top flap.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that kind of stuff, man.
And I especially don't do that with somebody else's book.
Oh, I go out of my way, man. I'm like, I'm going to remove the tape. I'm going to put that tape either not even on here. I'm going to put it over here. You shouldn't even be using tape. Or I'm going to put it underneath. I'm going to use the giveaway today. Comment down below. We're going to be giving this away. This is from Godly Comics. This is a San Diego Rogue variant. But I will like take the tape off and put it on the side of the comic before I get into it if it's owned by somebody else.
Whatever you do the same thing over and over and over again. Don't mix it up. That's just the way you do it. I always take the tape off.
Don't get fancy.
Yeah, don't get fancy, Nancy. Put it on the side of the book, or not the book, obviously, but of the bag.
Yeah.
Pull your book out, okay, and then put it aside, and just do the same thing over and over again. And that way, you shouldn't have any errors.
Dude, the day that you don't do it is the day you get tape on the comic book. Every single time.
Yeah, like a lot of these newer books, they have enough gloss, you can maybe take it off. I deal with a lot of older books. You get it on the book, it's like...
You can get lucky, man. And the main thing is to take it slow, you know? Take it slow, heat it up if you have to, if you really screwed up. But we've all done it, man. If you accidentally harmed a comic book, whether it's just mishandling it or pressing and cleaning and going through the process, we'd love to hear your stories in the comment section below. But it happens to the best of us. You know what? It's something that we have to admit because we're dealing with expensive stuff, but we deal with a large quantity of it. So there's a lot of opportunities for minor mistakes.
Yeah, I remember being at a con, and I'm just looking at a book, and I'm taking it out of the bag. And the lady there who's monitoring the booth, she's like, okay, can you please be careful with the tape?
Sure.
I was like, absolutely, I'll be absolutely careful, okay? No problem, I know how to handle a comic. And as I say that, some rustling goes on in an aisle, like a squabble or fight, okay? And we all look over. I was like, wow, okay, whatever. And I go look down, and the tape flapped onto the book.
Oh, no, you looked away. You were distracted.
I looked away, like as I talked, and I didn't pay attention.
How did you feel?
I felt awful because A, she just told me to be careful.
And you're like...
And I was being careful.
Like, I'm fine.
Yeah, and I got this. Like, I mean, come on. I know how to handle a comic. And sure enough, it's on the book. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And I was like, okay. And then I'm just like, oh, you know what? It'll come right off. It's just barely flapped on. And I'm carefully moving off. And as I'm carefully moving off, carefully the yellow is coming off the cover.
No.
And I was like, ugh, I just dropped my head again. I was like, there's no winning this. I was like, listen, can I just give you money to not buy this? I want to try to like, what does it cost for me and for A, dropping the value of the book and, you know, the money difference for the damage towards the value.
Okay, so this is a really good thing. I haven't really thought of because I haven't been in this position, but when you're dealing with a really expensive comic and you accidentally harmed it and you're in the middle of the transaction, this is something that you do. Like sometimes, like you got to get out of the transaction if you can, because you're not committed.
Yeah, and I asked him, I was like, look, I'll buy the book. That's fine.
Yeah,
you know, but if I can, I'd rather just pay a difference in damage towards
for the mistake.
Book. Yeah, for the mistake. I think the book was like it was like $150 or something.
Okay.
All right, so I ended up giving the guy $60.
Because you're paying more than the harm you did.
Yeah, I mean it cost some damage, remove color. I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh,
Give the money. I was like, and then I felt bad and just kind of walked off like a schmuck. And
it's a reminder though. you know, because this stuff happens to the best of us, even in moments where you think you're going out of your way to prevent it. I sold early years of cleaning and pressing, I had sold a comic book and there was just a little scuff on some white. I can't even remember the comic book offhand, but I remember that it had sold. It was a $30, $40 book, something like that, but it had some scuff on it. And this is one of the things that I've learned since then, that when you're trying to remove something from a book, especially something on color or white, just really in general, you're trying not to remove color, any ink. You don't want to do it in a circle, and hard, because that, you wash your face, you're told, you don't got to wash it in a circle motion. It lifts, especially ink. It'll lift the ink. So I'm like, oh, there's just some minor scuffs. So I'm like, I'll just do that really quick. And then boom, I ruined it. And I'm like, oh, and I sold it as a near mint, and I can't in good faith send this to him because it, like, legit, man, it was like a good chunk of ink missing there. So I just sent it to the person for free and was like, I apologize. I was trying to help you out. I sold it as near mint. I wanted to be good by it, but I did see something there. And I didn't feel right sending it to you and having you be upset, but I ended up ruining the comic book. So here you go. It happens.
It does. Like, I mean, it happened. The whole thing I had was a while ago. So I try to always stay focused no matter what, because there's a lot of distractions in the environment that could just get you away. I mean, you could be drinking your water, drinking some coffee, dribble on a lip onto a book.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Or you're so focused. Ever accidentally just drool? Have you ever just accidentally drooled accidentally?
Oh man, I am like, when I'm dealing with something super expensive that I'm taking care of, I got gloves on because I don't want to risk anything, and I have to stay away from it, from sweating, man. There's times where I'm like, I'm removing a sticker or something and I feel beads of sweat and I'm like, oh my God, that's how it happens. That's how it happens. You don't think about it. The fight breaks out like you just described, or you sweat, or you accidentally touch it and you didn't realize you had a little oil. Like, it's like just a little bit, you were eating some food or something. You didn't realize it. Like, you gotta be super careful with this stuff.
Absolutely, man. So I can't wait to talk about the after show, and we're talking about pressing stuff.
Oh, because I've ruined some
or
books,
dry
man.
cleaning even.
Yeah, both. Well, we'll get into both. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that that's the only thing on subject right now for the after show, because I feel like we're going to go off the rails with it, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a fun time. Available on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, and of course, SoundCloud, because we're SoundCloud supporters. We love us some lo-fi hip hop.